While Greece selling their hotels, investors look at that sector with great interest, says David Moran, hotel manager. When we are talking about hotel business and some countries which felt some crisis problem like Greece, like Spain, like even Egypt, we tell that these countries is countries where tourism give them a lot of investments. What role play hotel business, investment in hotel business for that countries?
Of course, I think a very important role, because the tourist will only come to different cities or to different countries if you can find a good amount of decent hotels in the city that you would like to visit. So that's why, to my opinion, that plays a very important role. Wherever you have a good amount of decent hotels, of course, these countries and these cities will also receive many more tourists from different countries.
What's the main reason why in Greece investors sold their hotels? Why business sold them? It's problem with country or problem with business?
No, of course, it's both. I mean, it's connected to each other. I mean, if the country has a problem and the business goes down, then of course you can imagine a hotel not only lives from leisure guests, but of course also mainly from business guests. So that means if business in general in the country goes down and the people are traveling less to, for example, now to Greece that you brought now up as an example, of course the hotels also receive a lot less guests during the week. So of course then you might end up with that your hotel business in this particular country or city is not profitable anymore.
When that hotels will be sold, can we see that the country will grow and the business after selling hotels for foreign investors will be growing too?
I think yes, because I think now, for example, that of course if you get more international hotel chains or more international hotel management teams into certain cities, into certain countries, of course they are managing their hotels in a different way, and they can also make sure that the whole setup is much more profitable than it is maybe now. So this is what we saw in the past and what we still see in the future.
What's the main regions where people invest in hotels? What maybe cities, what countries in Europe?
No, in Europe I cannot speak so much about Europe because the last couple of years I spent now in Eastern Europe, and I know now personally, I can tell you in Eastern Europe you can see all the big international hotel chains. For them, of course, Eastern Europe is a very interesting market, because yes, you have a good amount of hotels in cities like Moscow, St. Petersburg, Kiev, but in all the small cities, in all the mid-markets, I would say, there you don't have enough good, decent quality hotels. And this is at the moment also for many investors all over the world very interesting also to invest here in Eastern Europe, especially in the hotel business.
What's the difference among business in Europe and Eastern Europe and even CIS countries? We have some big difference in hotel business, or investors look at these regions in the same?
No, more or less they look in the regions at the same, but of course you see which region is more profitable. So this is what I just wanted to say, that for example now if you have a mid-market city somewhere in Russia, or in other Eastern Europe countries, then of course you see that there are not many decent good quality hotels, and that's why of course international investors, they go into the markets, they open a nice hotel, they send a good experienced hotel management team there to manage the hotel, and then of course in most of the times we can see that this international management team, they can of course manage the hotel in a much different way than most of the local people, let's say, now can manage this. And that's why of course we can see, and many international hotel companies, they see such a big potential in these cities.
What hotels are development more? Business hotels or hotels for tourists?
If you ask me, then I would say it's more business hotels, but of course here it depends also on the region. So of course you have, for example, destinations, if we take now Ukraine, so you have of course Yalta, and you have Odessa. there you most probably have, of course, for sure, more leisure business than, for example, in cities like Donetsk, Kharkov, Lvov. There you have, of course, more business, and there in those regions a business hotel is much more successful.
Your prognosis, it will be growing hotel business in the world for several years.
Absolutely. I think it will for sure grow in the future, because you know, hotel business...
For 10 persons, for 12 persons?
It's hard to give you a percentage, but I can tell you for sure in the future that we will see a growth in the hotel industry, but we will also see, this is my opinion, that only the good and the big players, they will survive.
When investors search hotels to invest, they look at problem countries with more interest, says David Moran, hotel manager. Thank you for watching us. It was Evgeny Benza, special for Dukascopy TV from Kyiv.